When the last child leaves for college, everyone online seems to celebrate. Freedom, they say. A new chapter. But what most don't admit out loud is that sometimes this new chapter feels less like freedom and more like losing a part of yourself. The silence can be deafening. You find yourself walking through a house that suddenly feels too big, too quiet, too still. They call it empty nest syndrome, not a diagnosis, just the name we give to the ache that settles in when the chaos of parenting suddenly stops. The final weeks before they leave are rushed and blurry. Dorm shopping, packing lists, squeezing in every last you can before time runs out. The last family dinner, the last load of their laundry, the last pair of shoes you trip over by the door. You think you have time to prepare, but you really don't. And then, in what feels like fast forward, the car is packed, the drive is done, pictures are hung, a bed is made, and suddenly, you're hugging them goodbye at a dorm room door. You walk away feeling like you left half your heart behind in that tiny space. The drive home is quiet, but it still doesn't prepare you for the quiet that greets you when you open your front door. 18 years of noise, footsteps, arguments, laughter, doors slamming, the fridge opening 10 times an hour, all gone. And the silence doesn't feel peaceful. It feels heavy. It feels like grief. Some parents even report physical symptoms, trouble sleeping, a tight chest, panic out of nowhere. You keep waiting to hear footsteps that never come. You wait to hear mom from down the hall, even though you know you won't. A role you lived in every day for nearly 2 decades suddenly ends, and you're left wondering who you are without it. For a while, it's okay to just sit in the quiet. Some people wander into their child's room and just stand there. Others sit on the edge of a neatly made bed that hasn't moved since the day they left. It takes time, and it's normal for it to take time. You don't have to bounce back. You don't have to pretend you're thrilled about your newfound freedom. This is a real transition, a real loss, and it deserves to be felt. But eventually, you reach a point where sitting in the silence stops helping. And that's where the shift begins. Not a fast one, more like learning to walk again in a life that suddenly has space where routine used to be. Giving yourself permission to feel sad is the starting point. You don't have to apologize for missing your own child. Then comes routine, a new one. Divorce from the chaos, build something quieter, something yours. Maybe it's a morning walk. Maybe it's finally drinking your coffee while it's still hot. Maybe it's trying a hobby you haven't touched since before you were someone's chauffeur, chef, nurse, and crisis negotiator. Rediscovering who you are outside of mom or dad might feel strange at first, but it's necessary. Identity isn't lost forever. It just needs room to reshape. And now there's space for something many couples forget how to do: reconnect. When kids are home, every conversation seems to orbit around schedules, homework, sports, the never-ending logistics of family life. When the nest empties, it becomes a chance to look at each other again and ask, who are we now? Sometimes, for the first time in years, you actually have time for the answer. Empty nest syndrome isn't just an ending. It's also an uncomfortable beginning. The start of rediscovering a life that still exists beyond raising children. The quiet will still hurt some days. You'll still wish you could hear that bedroom door slam one more time. But slowly, that silence becomes something else. Space for growth, for purpose, for a different kind of joy. The nest may be empty, but life is not. It's just beginning again, in a new direction. If you've gone through this, or you're standing right at the edge of it, you're not alone. I'd love to hear what helped you through those first quiet days. Your story might be the thing that gives someone else the strength to get through theirs. And if conversations like this matter to you, consider subscribing so you don't miss the next video. We're going to take this deeper and talk about real, practical ways to move through the grief, rebuild identity, and rediscover joy in this new season. The next chapter doesn't have to stay heavy, and that follow-up might be the one that helps you breathe easier again.